I called this session Beginnings because we're essentially involved in a knowledge building exercise, being a technical term. Um, it means that, well, take for example, Demetrios's thing based on the law. The law traditionally looks backwards and builds its case from what's happened previously. Well, what's happened previously with most other kinds of technology is that they have, to use Michael Benson's quote, they've created their own accidents. And we have such things as, Facebook and various other uh, devices, which have set a very bad precedent for us to be able to think about the future. And a precedent is what we often base what we're doing on. In fact, a lot of people, great majority of people, can only base what they do now or what they do in the future on a precedent of the past. But this kind of conference, we've already today, we have set a kind of foundation. The linked up conversations across disciplines and across fields are very important for us to keep this connection. And it's called beginnings in the sense that the knowledge building process has certain stages to it, certain knowledge stages. And one of those is to refute refutations. So we having the courage to to accept different points of view as we move on a very challenging issue is fundamental. So networking and exchanging ideas and keeping this connection going is going to be quite important for the future. Um, Already, there's been a number of voices coming at things from different directions, from a very particular direction to a more general one. And I think I would encourage everybody to think of their work in a broader phenomenological sense, as it were, where those people who are working very specifically always try and put their work in the bigger picture. That's what I understand being an outsider as the main challenge in the scientific endeavor is to always see the bigger picture emerging. So hopefully Demetrios, the reason we put his legal drama in the center of this conference is precisely for that reason, that we want to push legal issues further out into the future, and we have to turn around, as it were, and look into the future with this. It's very interesting that with the New Zealand dimension to this, thinking of the Maoris, that their concepts of what it means to be walking in the future is to be walking backwards, in the sense that they look at the future behind them and they're always walking into the unknown. So the best we can do is to keep stepping backwards into the unknown. It is an interesting comparison with what we call divergent thinking and convergent thinking. And there's often always a balance between the two, in the same way that any of our senses work by, they need noise to function. That's one thing. They also need the ambient condition and the point of focus to balance each other out. So it's never a point of focus just by itself, because that becomes meaningless. The senses are detecting the relationship between ourselves and with our ecology, with other things. So there's an ecological dimension to this technology, and it's grounded in some phenomenal ways in which our senses collaborate and work together. So I will just keep it brief like that, but I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has been contributing so far and attending, and especially to all our panel members for today. And we look forward to this evening and also to tomorrow when we have some very different things lined up for you. So with that, I'll sign off and say goodbye to everyone.